Only 50% of marketers prefer HFs, and SEMrush calls it a close race. It's the Coke versus Pepsi of SEO tools, two giants battling for your clicks, while you're left wondering if either will ever quench your thirst for results.
Limerick contest marks science with verse, yet nature's paywall remains a curse. Poetry and science make a delightful pair, but subscribing to read them all might leave your wallet in despair.
NVIDIA projects $500 billion in AI infrastructure, overestimates by $100 billion. NVIDIA's optimism is as inflated as a tech bubble, promising a future where every server room is a goldmine, but reality might just pop their dreams.
Email robot priced at $20,000 promises call through life. When a $20,000 robot does your dishes, your wallet might need a bigger rinse cycle. Automation now with a luxury price tag.
Polytechnic Montreal tests nanobots in pigs, claims cancer cure acceleration. When billion-dollar pharma bets on tiny robots and pigs, you know the future's here, just not for humans yet. Progress, now with added oink.
Albanese Dodgers SUAB 30 attendance question bids to host next summit. Australia's climate strategy is like a kangaroo on a pogo stick, bouncing aimlessly while conservationists call out the government's eco-flop as a half-baked charade.
NOAC profits drop in third quarter, blaming low oil prices despite increased production. Even oil giants can't escape the irony of drilling for more and earning less, proving capitalism's love affair with chaos continues.
When fighting for affordable housing, expect the wealthy to clutch their pearls and their property portfolios with equal fervor.
Senate Republicans vote against Brazil tariffs, defy Trump. The GOP, usually Trump's loyal sidekick, finally remembered the Constitution isn't just a suggestion, standing up like a teenager who realized their idol has feet of clay.
Because nothing completes a backyard picnic like a luxury oven that costs more than the food you'll ever cook in it.
Trump threatens nuclear weapons testing, then claims it's a peace strategy before meeting Xi.
Trump proposes resuming nuclear tests, calls it a strategy. In a world where even North Korea has moved on, Trump wants to play with atomic fireworks, like a toddler with matches in a fireworks factory.
Inter Milan fans hurl racial abuse again, face zero consequences after recent stadium closure. The classic slap on the wrist approach, perfect for when you want to pretend racism is just another game time foul.
Federal Reserve cuts rates by quarter point, calls it stability. With a dueling mandate like a soap opera plot twist, the Fed juggles inflation and recession like chainsaws, hoping no one's savings gets sliced.
US military slashes troop numbers in Romania, labels it the start of European drawdown. Because nothing says strategic stability like pulling out your pieces from the chessboard while your opponent's still playing.
Only 30% of drivers switch to electric, and automakers call it progress. While electric vehicles quietly save the planet, most drivers cling to gas guzzlers like their vintage vinyl, leaving the world to choke on nostalgia.
Trump nominee withdraws from US export bank role, citing scrutiny of Russia ties. When your resume includes a Russian address book thicker than a Tolstoy novel, expect some raised eyebrows at the interview.
RSF militia executes unarmed people in new videos, then claims they're liberators. When your version of liberation involves execution squads, maybe it's time to check the definition in a dictionary not soaked in blood.
BT stock drops for fifth month, investors doubt its competitive edge.
Senate approves resolution to block Trump's Canada tariffs, but only after the maple syrup ran dry. In this political pancake breakfast, the Senate finally remembered that trade wars leave a bitter aftertaste.
When a jazz legend exits stage left, the silence echoes louder than any drum solo he ever played.
Leave it to a K-pop star to remind the suits that art is just as vital as war machines, and maybe a bit easier on the soul.
When diplomacy looks like a Cold War cosplay, who needs enemies when your friends are this explosive?
K-pop group New Jeans loses legal battle against agency keeps contract until 2029. The court's decision means 6 more years of choreographed harmony and contractual disharmony, proving once again that in the music industry, freedom is just a catchy tune.
Only 30% of churches in crisis welcome queer allies, and the rest call it tradition. Nothing like a good old-fashioned crisis to reveal the true colors of faith, where love thy neighbor turns into love thy neighbor, but only if they fit the mold.
Boy Meets World star slams Trump for renovating the White House, calls it a historical crime scene. When a 90s sitcom actor becomes the voice of architectural integrity, we know we're living in a rerun of absurdity.
Physicists capture trillion degrees, claim it's just another day at the plasma office. In a world where they casually recreate the universe's fiery birth, physicists still struggle to explain why my morning coffee can't stay hot.
Veterans Affairs approves only 20% of requests for relocation assistance, and they call it support.
Rapper Baby 9 drops new track, promises realness, asks for a listen for a listen. In the age of streaming, where algorithms have more pull than a record exec, listen for a listen is the new currency, and it's not backed by the gold standard.
Metaplan's massive spending surge for AI calls it strategic foresight. When you've got investors nodding along to strategic foresight, it's amazing how quickly bottomless money pit becomes an acceptable business strategy.
Azerbaijan hosts Belgian colonialism conference, then feigns moral superiority. Nothing like a country playing the historical judge while sidestepping its own human rights rap sheet, because who needs introspection when you can point fingers?
Hexeth claims 14 killed in 3 strikes on supposed drug boats targeting controversy. When the alleged boats get more press than actual policies, you know the news cycle's addicted to conflict and conjecture.
Only 4% of hotel guests appreciate live piano performances, and management calls it ambiance. The hotel lobby, where musical talents drown in the clinking of teacups, and the purple-clad pianist is seen as mere furniture, not a virtuoso.
Murray Watt demands parties support nature laws or miss out, calling it a now or never moment. When politicians say now or never, they're usually betting on your short memory, hoping you forget their last urgent plea that went nowhere.
US-China summit ends and oil prices drop while traders await summit's fine print. The suspense of international diplomacy now affects your gas tank as world leaders play chess with economies, and we all wait to see who calls checkmate.
Nothing like a trip back to the 90s to remind us that flannel and existential angst are still the perfect pairing for a world gone mad.
Trump dismantles 4 pillars of American power, then claims it's for the best. Civil War tunnel in Denia, Spain, stands as silent witness, shelter turned relic. A refuge from the past, now echoes with the footsteps of curious tourists, rather than the hurried steps of those seeking safety, history's irony in stone and shadow.
The Power PM calls Gaza ceasefire violations disappointing, then plans for truce phase 2. When your peace plan is a house of cards in a hurricane, disappointment is the least of your worries.
Reddit users share the Cures Close to Me, proving you can be both goth and a romantic all in one haunting tune. Nothing like.
When nature's recipe for life requires just a sprinkle of gravity, maybe Earth isn't so special after all, just another rock with delusions of grandeur.
Only 20% of AI models ace real-world tasks, and tech giants call it innovation. It's like acing your driver's test on paper, but crashing the car in the parking lot. A's got book smarts without the street smarts.
McGill University's brain training app claims to reverse a decade of aging in memory, proving that gaming isn't just for the young. Who knew that a few weeks with an app could make your brain feel 10 years younger? Next, they'll have us believing Tetris cures wrinkles.
Senate rejects Trump's Canada tariffs, then GOP discovers the thrill of dissent as trade wars lose their luster. It's a classic case of the Senate playing the rebellious teenager, finally standing up to the authoritarian dad who thinks tariffs are the band-aid for a broken trade system.
U.S. prosecutor suspended after calling Jan, 6 attackers a mub punished for honesty. In a world where truth is treason, justice wears blindfolds and earmuffs, ensuring only the silence of complicity is rewarded with job security.
South Africa bets on private power generation, then calls it an energy blueprint while coal plants fade into history. Outsourcing the future of energy to private companies feels like trusting a fox with the henhouse. But hey, who needs oversight when you've got profits to chase?
Chris Murphy urges Blue America to wake up, calls it a civic duty. When the alarm clock is a senator, you know the snooze button's been hit too many times. Apathy is a luxury democracy can't afford.
In the political jungle, it's fascinating how respect for due process often coincides with aspirations for a change of party stripes.